So today we are here for our next MBK Youth Talk Series, where we have an awesome panel of young people that's going to be talking about youth entrepreneurship. We're going to be talking about business and the aspect of entrepreneurship and what that means. We also have some professionals and educators in the arena of entrepreneurship that's going to be sharing their expertise and also having a conversation with our young people regarding what's taking place. So at this time, we're going to open it up and get ready to have some conversations. But our MBK Youth Talk was put on by My Brothers Keeper Alliance in South Carolina, in which, due to COVID-19, we wanted to ensure that we provided a platform for young people and professionals and others, leaders abroad, to come together and have conversation and dialogue about things that are impacting young people and what's going on with young people. But most importantly, we want to always ensure that their voices are being heard and that we're providing a platform for young people to move forward, push forward, and that we're preparing them for the future while we are here in our present, which, as we all know, has been impacted significantly, and life as we know it has been impacted significantly. So at this time, we're going to go around and hear from some of our individuals that's going to be joining us today for this dynamic conversation on youth entrepreneurship. And we'll start with a person that's been in our state, that's been an educator for many years and has served in a various amount of capacities, which she could speak to better than me, but that's no one other than Miss Norma Lynn Brown.
Okay, thank you so much, and it's so great to be here and be among such great entrepreneurs. And I thank you, Antoine, for the opportunity to just share. I guess I'll start from the beginning. I grew up in entrepreneurship. My grandfather had a store, and we worked in the store, and my parents worked in the store. And then my uncle had a meat packing plant, so in the summer we worked there. So I was just around entrepreneurship. So that's how I really got into it. And then when I went to high school, I even took the marketing class that was, and DECA that went along with entrepreneurship. So even with being young and being an entrepreneur, then I grew up and went to college, and I did marketing there and loved it and kept with the entrepreneur. And then, of course, I started teaching. I taught for 35 years and just retired, and I taught marketing and entrepreneurship for 35 years and had DECA winners, and we did Shark Tank. And after 35 years, God gave me the vision to come back into the community with our African-American kids and teach them how to start their own business and teach them how to do a business plan. So I had my first camp, and actually the two ladies here were in my first camp. And after the first camp, the judges gave so many opportunities. As I always tell my kids, you've got to figure out a problem. So the problem was they had the camp, and then what were the kids going to do next? So I could not lose them. So that's when God gave me the vision to start Lynn Brown Inspires. And we meet once a month, and now we're doing several things. And I just can't stop now because I'm just so proud of them. We're going to do on Tuesday, this will be like our debutante entrance into society. We're going to be on Midlands Give. This is the first time we've been on Midlands Give and a big platform. So I'm just so excited. I've done 2 camps, one in Charleston in memory of Tawanda Sanders, and was looking forward to the 3rd camp. I don't know what we're going to do about that, but we're going to do something. And that's pretty much my story. We just grew up in an entrepreneurship, and that's just who we are. It's in our blood. So I want to say to parents, you need to introduce your children to entrepreneurship in some type of way, just seeing them, just let them see you doing something entrepreneurial. And even if they don't start their own business, they'll have the entrepreneurial spirit. That's so important, that they have that spirit of ownership. So that's where I am. And I just want to introduce or say something about Nicole. She's a parent that's on the business. That's on the call. And parents is so important. Now we have, and Tyra's mom's the president and Nicole's vice president. We have an organization for the moms or the parents, not just the moms, because it's so important because the kids are in grades 4 through 12. They're minors, so it's so important that the parents are involved. So we have a very involved group of parents. And then God also inspired me to have, there's the young adults, and we got 2 of my babies. Both of them are babies, and Therese, my baby, and Rika's, and I'm so proud of both of them. They have started their own business. So it's not just young people, but it's that. And one thing about Therese and Rika's, they inspire the other young people that are younger than them. So we have elementary entrepreneurs, we have Tyra's over at middle school, high school, and Nia, and then we have the young adult entrepreneurs. And they're just doing their thing and inspiring the kids in the lower grades. So I am so blessed. Antoine's one of my advisory board members. I have such an awesome advisory board that help keeps this going, but it's getting ready to grow, and it's God's vision, and I can't wait to see what God's getting ready to do, especially after Tuesday.
And that's awesome. And, serving on the board for the youth advisors, the great things that's happening in Columbia and Midlands area of South Carolina is one of the great things that we have happening in our state. Very excited about that. So let's keep it moving. Let's go to the next person. Who wants to introduce themselves?
I'm Tyra Jefferson. I'm the CEO of Tyra's Big World of Flavor, where my Southern flair comes to life. I've had my business for about 4 years now. I started it when I was maybe 3.5. So I started when I was 11. I'm 14. Well, I'm about to turn 15 in a couple more days. So my business is a catering-based business. I do cooking demonstrations, personal chefs. I'm an author. I've actually published 3 cookbooks. Well, I already published 1 cookbook over the summer, but I published 2 more over this quarantine. It was children's books. I am a cooking demonstrator, motivational speaker, and a YouTuber. So I do a lot of things with my business. And I've just been really using this time to just perfect my business more. Like I said, over this break, I published 2 children's books, and I have 1 on the way that I'm going to be publishing on my birthday. So I just wanted to do that because I know that during this time, it's a lot of things I can do besides sit and watch TV. And I always knew that I can do illustrations myself and I can write my own books. So I wanted to use my talents in a good way. And that's what my business is about. It's Tyra's Big World of Flavor. And my definition of flavor isn't just what it tastes like. It's the ingredients that are added that makes an amazing dish. So Tyra's Big World of Flavor is the dish, but all of my many talents like cooking, demonstrating, writing, drawing, all of those different talents makes Tyra's Big World of Flavor what it is today. And with YouTube, I have over 4,000 subscribers. I did a collab with B Loves Life. She has over 2 million subscribers. And I still post daily on my YouTube channel. Me and my mom do a live cook-off every Saturday. Right now she's in the lead, but I'm coming back up. I'm not going to let her win anymore. But we're doing a live cook-off. It's almost like Chop, but this Saturday, it is this Saturday. This coming Saturday, we're supposed to be having a family cook-off. So I'm still trying to get different avenues for my business. Like since I can't do catering right now, I'm using my other avenues to build my business, like making books and doing YouTube because I am monetized and I get paid from that. So I'm just really just using my flavors to help my business grow and also helping with the young CEOs of tomorrow and helping Miss Brown. Midlands Give is coming up. So I think that's something that we're all looking forward to because this is an opportunity for us to reach out to people about our businesses and reach out to people about the young CEOs of tomorrow and Lynn Brown Inspires, because without Ms. Brown, I don't think a lot of us would be where we are at this point, because Ms. Brown has helped us so much with our businesses, walking us through the process, walking us step by step. So I think that, I know that this is going to be a real success because she deserves everything that is coming for her, because she's helping us and that she just has the biggest heart in the world. So this is an event that I'm really looking forward to, May 5th, because I've already told all my YouTube people to definitely give, and they said that they're going to give, and I'm going to be live all day, so I'm going to be broadcasting on YouTube, showing people like the donations, reaching out to people. So that's what I'm going to be doing for that. So during this quarantine time, I'm not stopping with Tyra's Big World of Flavor. Tyra's Big World of Flavor is still going and still striving. So that's also what I want to let young entrepreneurs know, that even though you're stuck in the house doesn't mean that you have to be stuck in the same place that you were before. You can keep growing and keep moving. So that's who I am.
Well, hello everybody. Good. Anton, you know, I'm slow, but I'm worth waiting on, right? So basically, a little bit about myself. My name's Scott McCam, and I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since 12 years old. Pretty much when I started cutting grass, raking leaves, and I don't want to tell my age, but I wrote a flyer out and went around to the community, a handwritten. I didn't really have Photoshop back then, like my firm uses now. But pretty much I'm from Spartanburg. I am partnered now. I'm no longer on my own. I have a partner, Miss Pam Thomas, and we have a firm called Evergreen Business Solutions. We help people, individuals, but most of our clientele is entrepreneurs. They're entrepreneurs, small business owners, and we help them with everything from the credit to trade lines to now we just got approved to do funding as far as small business lending for companies. We do their taxes, their books, put together their corporate structure, notary publics. But one of my biggest passions has always been entrepreneurship. I was labeled as ADD, special ed, at-risk child, as an at-risk child, excuse me. And I've always wanted to work with young people like myself in a sense. So anytime I hear that there's youth, and Anton knows that, especially in our city, in our area, people ask, well, why did you come back to Spartanburg? And it was because I wanted to work with me. You know, my parents were told, teach him a skill. He may not be able to effectively communicate, but I found out through great mentors. Some of you may have heard of Mr. Joel Dudley Sr., who started Dudley Products. He was one of my great mentors. He became a multimillionaire in the hair care industry. The hair care industry changed my life as far as like learning things from him with the diligence and with the just fortitude that they had under their circumstances to go forward. He has a PhD and he still has a speech impediment. So that really impressed me a lot. That Kinko, I met Kinko's guy who started Kinko's. He was labeled that because he was labeled special ed, ADD. And my training, a lot of times when I had these mentors, they didn't really hand me a lot of stuff for knowledge, but like Mr. Dudley used to tell me, hey, I want to give you something that no one can ever take away, and that's my knowledge, as opposed to the money, because if I give you the knowledge, you can make the money, and you can make the money work for you. Pretty much anything with Anton. I met Anton back when he was college student, before he and Crystal were married, had children. Like I was telling them earlier, Anton, you had asked me about mentoring you on the business side. We found out about a year and a half ago that we both had a guy that was mentoring us both on the personal end to keep us out the streets, keep us out of trouble in our city. And we all got to come together over this past summer, fall. Now, anything that Anton does with My Brother's Keeper, or if Tara or her mother Faye were to call me, if it's something that I could do at that time, speak, motivate somebody, I will. Now, I mean, I'm excited because at my age, it's kind of like working with the young people. It just kind of renews my youthhood in a sense. It helps me because they teach me just as much as I'm teaching them. I'm always proud of Tyra, especially, and Anton. I have a young man, Keyshawn Shepherd from Charleston. He's graduating the School of Business. this year in Spartanburg, and been mentoring him. And, you know, he has his LLC. He has his business structure, federal ID numbers and stuff. He filed. It was really exciting. He got to file his first business return this year. And his moms then were like excited about that. So that's what I strive and I thrive to do, guys. I like working with young entrepreneurs. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but I guarantee you I can teach a young one some old ones. So pretty much everything that I know, if I could give back to our generation, because S.B. Fuller was Mr. Dudley's mentor, and that's when they dealt with Black Wall Street. That'll be a good thing for some of you young people to read about Black Wall Street, to read about things that went on up in the North Carolina area when we were forced to be able to only do business with ourselves. And sometimes it'll motivate you and give you a little energy to say that, you know, we were meant to do this. Entrepreneurship gives you a freedom, but I did work a lot of jobs as a young entrepreneur, because those jobs actually wind up teaching me a lot about school, college, things like that. Taught me a lot about working with people, a lot about dealing with the public. And I always try to tell a young entrepreneur, if you can work in that industry a little bit, it's going to teach you how to treat your employees. It's going to teach you how to run the business, because I tell all my young people that either you hustling or you running a business. Now, sometimes your hustle seems like, sometimes you have to hustle in your business, but you have to have a structure. And once we add that structure to your hustle, we can pretty much help you get there. So, Antoine, that's kind of like with me. I don't want to go overboard because I know of our time, but you know that I can email, I can send information from some of the things. I will say that you were around when I became the first in the United States to own Young Biz. And Young Biz is not, is nationwide, worldwide, in several countries. But in the United States in 2005, I was the first to own that franchise because of the story that I told about wanting to help the young people in my city. They offered me an opportunity to get it for a little bit of nothing. In 2010, I sold it. So at the end of the day, I still work with my brother's keeper. I will continue with Anton and others, Miss Brown, anyone that I could come and help with any entrepreneurship camp or training. I just believe that entrepreneurship helps in a lot of things in life, helps build, you know, your toughness. It helps build your focus and everything. And I'm excited, Antoine. Thank you for inviting me on, and it's great to be able to talk with you all.
My name is Therese Wilson. I'm from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Went to North Carolina A&T for college. I graduated. I'll show y'all this. Got my own, you feel me? Computer science, you know, cum laude. So I'm gonna show y'all that. And then my uncle made this paddle for me. Show y'all this too. Uncle made this paddle for me. So, you know, Aggie pride over here. But after school, I moved up to Raleigh, North Carolina to start at IBM. So now I'm working at IBM as a software developer. I'm doing front-end development. So basically working on websites and using JavaScript, HTML, CSS. If you guys know anything about coding, that's what I'm doing on the job. And my guys in Myrtle Beach, you know, they holding down the private shop for me. So I appreciate them doing that for me. You know, they doing it for them, but they also, you know, they dragging me along as well. So I appreciate that. You know, the private shop is going well. We're getting a lot of Instagram sales. You know, guys follow us, the private shop. We're getting a lot of Instagram sales on there, and we have the website going as well. And we have, you know, we have a nice team. So I'm glad to see my guys down there working. You know, they doing their thing. And like I said, I'm up here holding it down in Raleigh at IBM. So that's pretty much it with me.
Okay, you unmuted me. So my name is Ricky Zaskew. I'm from Spartanburg, South Carolina as well. I came down to Coastal in I graduated in 2015, and there's a lot of people don't know I'm a smart kid, but college wasn't for me. I was going, and I just didn't know what I was going for. I was going to be a teacher. My mom was a teacher, and she wanted me to do this. And I was working at summer camps, and I was loving it. But I just was giving my drive. I just felt like school was failing me. I'm not saying don't go to school or don't do that, because school is a great thing. But for me, I just had to give it my all and just take a risk in something that I really, really wanted to do. So I believe at the end of December of 2018, I was in a house down here at school. I was going to Goodwills, and I was going to a bunch of places, and I was just like finding old pieces, like 80s, 90s pieces. And I was getting them for like $2 or $3 a pop. And then people were just coming by my house and just buying them. Like, it was crazy. Like, I didn't even think it would be where I'm at to this point now. So I was getting them, and I was selling them maybe like $15, $20, not even charging nothing too crazy. And it was getting to the point where I was like, it's getting too crazy. I'm like, yo, I got to call somebody. I got to talk to somebody about this. I'm like, yo, I called the first person I called was Therese. I'm like, yo, I think we have something going on. A lot of people are just trying to buy my house and stuff like that. I was like, bro, see, can you do it? I know in North Carolina A&T, everybody's into the swag. Everybody wants fashion. So let's just try it. So Therese started doing it up there. We were both doing it from different spots. We just kept going on. It was going on for maybe like, I said 6 or 7 months or something like that. And we both were just running out of space in the closet. We both were running out our closets. And we just didn't want a lot of people coming to our house. You know, you don't want people coming to your house and doing stuff like that. So he was like, yo, just come to the shop and just come get your haircut. I come get my haircut late at night. I don't like getting my haircut when anybody else is there. I'm just so different, supposedly. I was getting my haircut one night, maybe like 6 or 7 o'clock, and the owner of the barbershop said he had a little studio room in the back. And I'm like, yo, do you mind if I sell a couple of shoes and clothes back here? At first, he looking at me like, I don't know if this is going to really work. I have a barbershop and stuff like that, which knowing it's not even illegal to do something like that. It's legal to do that. But he just saw the hustle that I had in the drive that I really, really wanted to do something. So he called me back maybe like 2 or 3 days later and was like, yo, do you want to get in? I'm like, yo, I'm stopping everything. I don't know what I was doing at that time. I stopped what I was doing and I ran straight to the shop that day. I went to Walmart. I literally went to Walmart that day, bought like 3 or 4 racks, put them in there, and it already had a shelf in there. So we maybe had like 5 pairs of shoes at this point. And we had an Instagram going at that time. We maybe had like 100 or 200 people on the Instagram at this time, but people were consistent buying from us. So whenever the barbershop was open, that's when I was open. So they would be closed on Monday, so I'll be going from Tuesday to Saturday, just selling a bunch of things out of there. And so while this is happening, we opened up February 15th in the barbershop with 2019. And the whole time while I'm saying this, I'm like, yo, I want to open up. I want my own store. I want my own store. What can I do? What do I have to do to get to my own store? What is driving me? What's stopping me? So like I was just flipping stuff. When I tell you flipping literally anything. And we were going to Goodwills. I was driving to North Carolina every other weekend, just coming up there, getting as I can and bringing it back to the barbershop. And people was coming in and buying it. So then we just kept talking. Then I'm like, yo, Therese, we need to get even bigger than that. So then my roommate at the time, which is our other partner, Drew Thornton, he comes along. He's like, yo, let's get going to it. Let's add more money. Let's add more product. So us 3 got together, sat down, talked about it, and then he drove. So he's from New York. He drove all the way down to New York. From New York to Myrtle Beach. Me and him are driving by, just passing a bunch of places down here in Myrtle Beach because it's so vacant down here. And we found a spot around here, and we were just like, if this landlord says this is the price, then we're gonna just jump on it and get to it because we know that we can do this. It was really like I can't say anybody else but God. That's what it comes down to. It's just everything happens for the right. Like I can't even. It's too good to be true, if that makes sense.
I'm Nia Berry. I'm 16 years old, and I'm the CEO of Simone Scrubs. So I sell handmade aromatherapy body scrubs and lip scrubs. And I started my business in 2018 with Miss Brown's camp. And since then, I've been wanting to grow my business, and I've been doing vendor fairs, and I have an Etsy where you can order my scrubs and my lip scrubs. And so during quarantine, me and my sister, we started another business, and it's called H&N Designs, where we do fluid art. So we're working on getting our business started with that.
Hey everyone, so I'm Nia's mom. I have another daughter, Hannah, who is 12. And by day, I'm an executive assistant. In the evening, I am a momager. So I manage Simone Scrubs and H&N Designs. And Nia has really evolved since the camp with Norma. She was very quiet, very soft-spoken, very shy. And this has forced her to speak more, to perfect her public speaking. She's done numerous vendor fairs. Her Etsy shop has really taken off. And so she gets calls all the time for orders. She's done a couple of panels. She has her business has really grown and taken off. So I'm really proud of her. And I did not know anything about entrepreneurship until she began her business. So she's taught me a lot. She's taught our family a lot, and our younger daughter really looks up to her. So that's when they got started on their new business, Fluid Art. So again, thank you for all of this. This is awesome. I wish there were more young people involved with things like this. And again, Norma, we always appreciate all that you've done to get us started. And that's all I want to say. This is just awesome. I just wish more kids could hear this, could be involved with this, and to know that they can take their dreams and do whatever they need to do with hard work, dedication, and prayer, that they can get it done. So thank you again. I appreciate it.
In lieu of COVID-19, and the pandemic that we're currently in, what advice or what would you say that some trends and things that you've seen regarding young people when it comes to entrepreneurship and young people taking advantage of this opportunity to start a business or get into entrepreneurship or to, perfect what you would say, the hustle per se, what has been your take as far as with so much time availability with your peers? What's going on in your circles?
I'll go. I already kind of talked about it, like I said, about my books that I published, but also there have been a lot of different opportunities. Like there's been little webinars, like Zoom meetings that people will host, and they hold on. So there have been a lot of different things. They have like webinars teaching people about entrepreneurship and giving tips. And my mom normally finds them on Facebook and just looks at them, but there's different celebrities posting things, giving to young entrepreneurs. But I think a way to start a business or start something to, fill time or just do what you love is just, go for it. Like within the house is nothing else better to do. I think YouTube is a good way because you can post videos and it's a good way for you to make not easy money, but it's a good way for you to get involved with social media and different platforms. So that's a good way to start your business. And it's not that hard to publish a book either, because when my mom and I were doing the book, I would do the illustrations by hand. I would draw them first and then go on my phone and color it and everything. And she just went on Amazon and published it. So we did everything. Everything is because we have technology now, everything is so easy to do. Like everything is just here for us. I think that's why a lot of older people say that we have it easy because of technology, because everything you could basically Google now. Like you could Google how to be a young entrepreneur and the first thing would come up. So I think we have a lot of different resources that we can use now.
I was about to get it started when she said the young people and the old people, the battle of the generations. That's a conversation that gets it started. Yeah.
One more thing, I forgot to say this, but another thing, because of my business, I have seasonings, and a YouTuber actually shouted me out because I gave her my seasonings. So I've been getting a lot of orders from that. So like the money that I make, I'll have to use to like buy seasoning packets. And if you want to do like merch or whatever, Teespring is a good avenue to do merch, make your own merch, sell to people. So it's like I said, we got a lot of different resources nowadays.
Starting a business during quarantine is just to go ahead and start now while you have time. And especially if you're like making a product, you have time to test out different things and see what works and see what doesn't work.
I think this is a time for like where money is not the rule of everything right now. So it's like based on your passion and based on how you can adapt to things. Like for example, with us, it's not about if we're making a bunch of sales. It's like would I sit in the store all day long and not make sales? But if I love this and I love what I do, it's not about the money. It's not about the things that come with it. If you really love it, go for it. And like I said, try. Why not try? You have nothing to lose. You have nothing but time right now.
It's like, I guess what the two just said now with the young lady and with Rika said, talking about, opportunity. I learned that the word pour, P-O-O-R, from one of my mentors. He would say that meant passing over opportunity repeatedly. So this is a time, even out of a terrible situation. Even with my office, I had invested earlier in a virtual office, and I really didn't want to do it for years because I was stuck in my ways with some of my clients, but it's proven to be quite effective because they're able to do all their returns, get all their documents through an IRS approved with DocuSign. They can sign it, they can pay me, they can move on, we can talk on video with their taxes. So out of something that I really didn't want to invest in at the time, that opportunity presented itself and I took it and I expounded upon it, and I've done quite well. I would also say to the young people, like you say, if you got a passion, whatever your passion is, that's what's gonna help you make the fortune anyway, because mentor once used to tell me also, and I keep saying mentorship because it's about mentorship too. My parents couldn't teach me how to be an entrepreneur at the particular time because no one taught them. No one taught them about, how to properly set up the business. So I made a lot of mistakes. I just never quit. It was about my passion. So even when I'm recruiting people with business and thing I'm doing with young people, I always recruit passion and not skill, because I can teach you skill. I can teach you what I do. But if you don't have any passion, you're not going to do it when I'm not watching you or helping you. But if you got a passion, even if you're not that good, you're going to become great because of how you feel about it. And I'm not going to have to force you to do some of the things it takes to be successful.
Well, I think one thing that everybody, a couple of people have said is passion. You got to have passion for it. When you have passion for something, then you'll always do it. And another thing is communication skills. This is very important, especially with this age. You've got to, I know technology is good, but it's always good. And that's why I love the Shark Tank. Every one of the young people on this call was at my Shark Tank. And they were able to get up in front of a group of judges and actually talk about their product. So one thing, you have passion about it. And I think a couple of them mentioned, then get information. You have information everywhere. Always learning, always take a chance and learn something and try something new. If the first thing don't work out, try it again, and then learn how to communicate. Can't communicate it, then that's the problem too. But I think passion is good, and passion is number one, and that's what each one of these young people have. And that's why, God's going to take them places they can't even imagine. And to be able to listen, to, you may say old school, because being in education for 35 years, I'm old school, and then I got a little bit of new school because I just came out. So if we took the knowledge and you got the energy, if both of us get together, there's nothing that we won't be able to do. So keep that in mind when you do that. Take that passion and get it with some knowledge or people that have done it before, and just watch what God's going to do. I've just been blessed to see so many young people do so many amazing things. And I do want to shout out Midlands Give on Tuesday. If you go to our page, Lynn Brown Inspires, you're going to see so many young businesses, and I ask you to support them. And I believe that you can give a person, I always say, you can give a child a fish, but you don't just give it to them. Teach them how to fish, and they'll have fish for themselves, and they'll have fish to give to other people. So when these young people, they're not really, when they ask for money, they're asking for you to support them. So that's what we got to do as community. We got to support their business. When we see that they have a business and they're online, go and give them something, even financially, but always give them some type of encouragement. And that's what's going to take.
I have a question for our panelist, Therese, Mr. Wilson. Therese, what would you say, being that, a science major, going to a tough school, taking on a tough major, with a computer science major, and how did you handle balancing, having a business in one state, being a partner of a business in one state, and being in college, and navigating and getting ready for a professional career and balancing business on the other end? Like, how would you say, how did you do that? And how was that possible? What did you endure, and how did you overcome that and succeed that? One, in graduating, when congratulations again, we're super proud of you for that. But how did you accomplish that feat?
I would say the biggest thing is just my team. That's the biggest thing, is having a team, people that you can count on, people that you can trust. Trust is a big thing when you're working with people. So, I was in school freshman year. Me and Rikas didn't start this until like my junior year. So my first 2 years, I was kind of chilling, and then I would go to Coastal every now and then, but then Rikas hit me up, and we started the business and all that. So about my junior year, when we started doing that, luckily I had a car. My mom had finally got me a car and stuff like that. So what I would do was I would go to the Goodwills, in between classes, go to class, and then maybe skip a few classes to hit the Goodwill. You ain't gonna always go to class. I just skip class and go to Goodwill too. So, go to Goodwill, sit in there for like 3-4 hours. Like, I'm just grabbing clothes. And then I would just have all the clothes in like 3, 4, 5 trash bags in my closet, just waiting. And then I would make a few sales, at A&T, maybe sell a few things. But the main goal was to get it to Conway, so we could put it up on the Instagram, so Rikas could have inventory, because that's where the shop was going. He was in the barbershop, so that's where most people that was where most people was shopping at, in Conway. So we would so basically I would just get in my car, load all the bags up, and we would initially I would take it all the way down there so I could see the store and do all that. But then we found this little meeting spot. It's crazy. It was right on the border of North Carolina and South Carolina. So we used to drive to this gas station, just meet right there. It was an hour and 30 for both of us, and then I would meet him there, and I'd drive back, so hour and 30. And then he would come to A&T sometimes so he could hit the Goodwills that I was at. So sometimes he would come and spend the night with me and hit Goodwills, and, we would hit Goodwills together, and then he started, meeting people at A&T. He's staying with people, while I'm in school, in class. He would be at my school, like, at Goodwills and stuff like that while I'm in class. He calling me I'm like, what you doing at Goodwill, bro? What you doing up here in North Carolina? So like I said, the biggest thing is just having a team, having a team that you can count on, and people that's gonna mesh with you and, work together, like LeBron D. Wade, Joy and Scotty, you need a team, you need people.
Okay, now with you all, and when your business being in Myrtle Beach, how would you all say, Rikas and Therese, how has it been, being that, the governor just released orders to begin to open up business, for certain retail or what have you, and obviously that impacted you all because you all have a storefront business now. So how would you say, how has business been since things have opened back up, and how did you all adapt? I mean, it was great that you all started your business out basically primarily from going selling on Instagram and social media to create the storefront, but how did you guys adjust, and how did it impact you guys with things being closed down and business being able to come to a halt?
I'll let Rican say that since
Like it goes back.
actually there. So I'll let him say it since he there.
So yeah, it's like I said, it's a blessing. Like everything just going. If you do what you gotta do, just let go and let God. That's how it was. We opened up in February, so it's like literally a month right before everything happened. But like what Tyra was saying was like, us young folks are always online, so they can buy online. They don't have to come to the shop. They don't have to be here. But if they would like to come here, we do schedule appointments. They can come in. They can come in and shop what they want to do. If they want to sell us something, they can come by and do that. But like I said, Instagram is the biggest social media platform that we've been using, and it's been working. We literally just whatever we get. So say new inventory that comes in, we put up a picture of it. Someone literally wants to buy it, or they don't even have to be in Myrtle Beach. Instagram is a great thing because we can get people from all over. Like we've been shipping to Hawaii, we've been shipping to Canada, we've been shipping all over. So it's literally it's a blessing, honestly. We just adapt to everything that we can. Well, like I said, when people want to come in, we hold people to a standard, be sanitized. Maybe we only have no more than 5 people in here at one time, if that. It is what it is. We just adapt to it. That's what I think with being an entrepreneur, you adapt to things. You learn from things. You don't just do one thing and everything's going to be perfect. You're going to have to adapt to it. So that's what we've been doing the whole time.
And I would say another big thing is like you mentioned in the beginning, just timing, timing of when we open up the store and we recently just opened it up and, the coronavirus hit. So it's, we got in at a good time because if we weren't able to open up the store when we did, the coronavirus would have hit and we would have been in a real big slump because honestly, the grand opening of the store kind of, took us off, so if we wouldn't have been able to do that grand opening and all that, we kind of would have been in a real big problem, so I emphasize, timing and depending on God and, praying to him and, just emphasize, because I just so happened to graduate early and all that. And then our homeboy from New York, he drove down. Like, it's crazy the timing, how we got the shop and stuff like that. Just timing.
Wow, that's awesome. Rikas, very quickly, we know you're down in the shop right now. When we show this, we're gonna have a lot of people looking in, from all over the country to see this. So, do you mind giving us a quick little virtual tour of the shop as it regards, the clothing and things of that nature, and where you guys are, what have you? Can you give us a brief tour?
Yeah, I got you. So we are located in Myrtle Beach. The address is 902 Broadway Street, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So if you come from outside, you see, come in the shoe wall and the shoe rack. It's a bunch of shoes, Yeezys, Jordan 1s. You have vintage hats all over. So you have old 90s and 80s hats. You have 80s and 90s champion shorts, all type of shorts, all type of old jerseys. Dennis Rodman. Now we have a little area where you can come in here and you can just chill. Like I said, it's not always about the money. You want people just to be in here just to chill if they wanted to. So he's in here playing the game. And we have a whole bunch of racks of bunch of vintage. So what we do is say the shirt here in Goodwill. Say we would get this shirt. It's a 1993 shirt. Say we get it for like $2 or $3 maybe, and someone comes in and we have it listed at $30. So people would come in and just literally just buy off the racks here, or they can also trade for stuff too. So if you have old shoes or old clothes or you can come in here and just sell it to us. We can give you quick cash for stuff like that, just for us to sell it. But here's the whole look of the store. But yeah, so it literally took us, I would say, like a week to build this whole store. And like I said, we change literally every day. So there's always going to be something that comes in every day too, as well.
Our purpose at MBK is to ensure that we are creating opportunities for, young people of color. What advice would y'all give to a young man out there or a young person out there young lady out there that's that has a dream or that has a passion, but don't have nobody to believe in them or don't know the wherewithal to do. Like, what if you had to sum it up in 30 seconds or less? What would you say to a young person to motivate them to get to a point to where you guys are, where it went from a thought to an idea that you pushed online to now you have a storefront and you have you're making money online as well as someone can walk into your establishment. Like, what motivation would you give a young person?
Just to go. Don't listen to the naysayers. They're out there. People going to look at you and give it your all, or give it support just because you got out your comfort zone. A comfort zone is the craziest thing where people got to get over. Like I said, I'm so of a perfection kind of guy, but at one point in time, I just had to just say, forget it. I don't want to hear what people have to say about it. This is what I want to do. At the end of the day, even what my parents didn't want me to do, that's not what I want to do. So I had to do what I wanted to do, or like what Therese was saying, get a teammate who wants to do the same thing you want to do. And when you bring great minds together, you're gonna get a great aspect out of it.
Say, for the young guys, just surround yourself with the right people. Have the right mindset. It starts with you. Giving off the right energy. And once you give off the right energy, positive energy, you want to do the right thing, start a business, whatever, that's when you'll manifest it and you'll start growing into it and you'll start meeting people. You just don't know how many people we've met since we've just said we wanted to be business owners. Now people are looking at us like business owners. You have to manifest, you have to say it, so don't just, like Rika said, don't let people tell you what you can do and what you can't do. Be you, do what you want to do, and go for it. Don't matter what nobody says.
I would just say to go for it. Like, while you're in high school, you're still under your parents' roof, and you don't necessarily have to have like a structured job where you have to pay bills. So just go ahead and start now so that you can build your business to when you get to that age, you'll have money to pay for your own bills.
I would say because for me, I will always try to make other people happy and impress people, but I had to realize that the only person that you need to make happy is yourself. And if you're not happy with yourself, then you're not going to be happy with anything else. So if you're happy with what you're doing, and if you're ready, and if you see that whatever you want to do and that's something that you want to do, then go for it. Don't worry about what anybody else is going to say, and don't worry about what's going to hold you back, because nothing else should be holding you back except yourself. So just go for your dreams and your goals, and you can do anything that you put your mind to.
What would you all say, Ms. Norma, what would you say to the educators? What would you say to the schools? What would you say to the professionals out there? What would you say as far as how they can prepare our young people, but also build a linkage and support system for our young people? What advice would you provide or insight would you give?
Well, as I said, I was blessed enough to be in old school and new school. So I would say to the teachers now is to let the kids be creative, let them explore. But my main thing now is still teach them. I always say I'm still a teacher. They still have to be taught, even though they may be able to discover, they may be able to do different things, but you still got to teach them. And I like the excitement they have. I like the energy. And as I said before, if you could take knowledge, previous knowledge from us older people, and package it with your energy, I mean, the sky is the limit for you. But I would say to educators and to everyone else to let them be creative. However, just still teach them the things that you've done and some things, and don't be judgmental. Just allow them to speak their mind, and then maybe after you get a relationship with them, then you can kind of try to train them or take them the way they need to go. But don't be judgmental, and just let them share their creative ideas.
What advice would you give to them that's, in this challenging time? We know that I've always said more millionaires and successful entrepreneurs have been made in the times of financial crisis or any time that we're coming out of a recession.
I would say with young people, you have so much at your arm's length now and reach, as far as your computers, your phones in this digital age, this generation Z. You're able to retrieve information and gather information so quick, but it's what you do with that information. You know, I can give you the formula, but you have to give it life. You know, you have to put it on paper. I would say any ideas or anything that you're seeing, pay attention to what's going on, because there's an opportunity in everything that's going on around you. And even if you have certain friends, people you speak to, because sometimes the people that's closest to you can be your biggest dream killer, because it's not that they mean any harm, it's just the fact that they have a fear of it, because it's part of the unknown. You know, most people are used to the traditional way you get this job, you do this, you do that, but you can be employed and self-employed. So what you should also do is, like I'm saying, pay attention to what's going on the news. Pay attention when you with it. A lot of your fortune is around you with your friends, like the two young men that was earlier. I've been impressed with looking at Rika's them and looking at their 80s and 90s gear. That's an opportunity. That's something a lot of young people may not be pushing. Something different. What's going to set you apart from what everybody else is doing? Don't worry about if some of them are doing some of the things later on that you're doing. You have to set yourself as the pioneer, to be the trailblazer. So opportunity. Go to Google, go to what are they doing on Snapchat? What are they doing on Instagram? What's going on? I've been fortunate, along with Mr. Antoine, to work with a lot of young people. So I'm kind of in the know, both on the old school side with me and on the new school side. And I always see that when I talk with young people and I kind of consult with them and tap into what their passion, their gifts and talents are, it kind of a light goes off in your eyes, and you start going after it, and that's it. You have to get started. There's no secret formula to success, guys. It's only getting started and never quitting. You just can't quit. And once you set that in your mind, I know you guys got a lot of ideas, but you just got to have that energy, that passion. Pray about it. Get some advice from someone like Ms. Brown or myself or Mr. Anton, and even some of your own peers that are doing entrepreneurs already. Ask them, because I can guarantee you most of the millionaires and people that I walked up to and asked them, they like to tell their story. And I learned a long time ago that facts tell, but stories sell. So if it's somebody that's successful as an entrepreneur, if you got an idea, walk up to that entrepreneur, email them. That's how I met Mr. Dudley. I sent him a letter, and I got invited to his company and to meet him and stay with him for 3 weeks in his mansion. So you got to take a risk, and entrepreneurs are risk takers. So from here on out, once you become an entrepreneur, you're always going to take risks. So look at the opportunities around you, look at what's going on, get you some knowledge and insight for somebody who's been there, and then, give it life, put legs to it, and then take it to the next level.
Some advice. And again, that's one of the reasons why years ago, when reaching out to Scott, I always call and consider him a mentor. I think mentors are key, critical, and important for young people. That it's always good to get that guidance and wisdom from those that have, shared and had experiences that sometimes we haven't. Before we close out, I want to go to our next panelist, and a young lady who had the opportunity to meet her a few years ago, actually. I met her through Scott, who was putting on a camp in upstate in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And he said, hey, I got this young lady who, we say we want something different. We want something out of the box. She's young, but she's dynamic. She's a kid celebrity chef. And he started telling me some of the things. And I remember going to look at this flyer, and I looked at some videos. And I was like, wow, who is this young lady, this awesome young lady, carrying herself well. I looked at her episodes when she participated on the Food Network, Celebrity Kid Chef and all. And I'm like, wow, she's doing some amazing things. Let's bring her in. What it's going to take to get her in. So we had her come in, and she empowered a city of young people. With her enthusiasm, with her passion, and with a lot of things that she's doing. And that's no one other than Tyra Jefferson. And I'm proud to say that, my very own daughter My 5-year-old daughter loves Tyra and her books, and every time she see a picture or a video or something of Tyra, she, Daddy, there goes Tyra, there goes Tyra. So it's moments like that why we need young entrepreneurs to continue to motivate the generations before us. So I want to ask you, Tyra, what advice would you give to a young person? Because you've been on national television, you've been in national campaigns, you've won state competitions, you recently won first place in the Youth Entrepreneurship competition with, and you all can speak to that as well, as far as that. But I might let you talk about that. But you had experiences where you've traveled and because of your skills and because of your abilities and your passion. So could you, one, speak to that, your passion and your skills and some of your experiences briefly, and also what advice you'd give to another young person?
Okay, so some of my experiences, I first started with Food Network. I made 4 out of 6 episodes on the show that I was on. And after that, that's when I really started noticing that this was something that I really loved doing, like cooking. I didn't want to just stop at Food Network. I wanted to keep going. So then once I was on there, a whole bunch of news stations started reaching out to me, a young South Carolina celebrity chef who was on Food Network. And then a lot of people started reaching out to me to go speak at churches. And that's when Mr. Scott reached out. And he was like, like I said at the beginning, that was like one of the biggest events I did at that time. He reached out for me to do Community. I think it was 2017. And I went to Spartanburg, cooked for the young teens. Spoke to them, and then there was another day where I had my vending spot, and then after that I even hung out with some of the kids. We went to Wingstop that night, and we went to some place. It was fun. I gotta find the name of that place again, but it was a really fun experience. And then after that event, I was like, this is something I like, noticing that, because when I was younger, I used to think that older kids didn't want to listen to anybody because I thought that they thought they already knew everything. But once I did that, I started realizing that you can touch anyone at any age. As long as you're passionate about what you're speaking, they will listen. And once I started speaking at churches and schools, even the teachers were saying, or the adults were saying, you really inspired me, and that's just amazing. So I just kept going with my business, started my blog. I was in a play because I've always loved acting. And I still, was managing my schoolwork. My mom always said schoolwork comes first. So I'm still doing school plus my business. And then I met Miss Brown at the Auntie Karen Foundation the Auntie Karen Foundation competition, and I won Young Entrepreneur of the Year for that. And that's when I met Miss Brown. And ever since then, she told me that event that God has so much in store for me. And she told me there that she was going to get back in touch with us. And she kept her word. And that's why I still am communicating with her today. And that's why she is my #1 supporter. Well, my mom's my #1, but she is my #1.5 supporter. So she has just been such a great support system for us. And she doesn't just help me on a business level, she helps us on a personal level. She'll take me out to lunch, read scriptures with me. So she's been a huge help. I won the camp for her. I attended her camp and I won first place with that one, and that led me on to the Charleston competition for Yes Carolina. And at that time I was in middle school, and I was the only middle school student out of 41 or 42 high school students. And I won first place, winning $3,000 and a trip to New York City. And that was my first time going to New York City. And it was a really fun experience. I know the last day, me and Miss Brown, we got up super late and we just walked around the city. Yes, we walked around the city and we got some frozen yogurt. She took some pictures. It was just a great experience. And that's the one thing that I can tell kids, tell young entrepreneurs or future entrepreneurs, that when you keep going and you keep trying, you will get rewarded with such beautiful things. You will get, like, all the trips I went on, like my trip to California twice, because I was on Food Network twice, and my trip to New York, those were free trips. You can be rewarded like that once you're doing something that you love and you're very passionate about it. So that's what I just want to encourage them to do, and encourage them to know that age really doesn't matter, because once you do something as young, once you get older, you can just relax, sit in the house. You don't have to worry about anything else, because you would have already accomplished everything that you would need. And like my uncle said, because I still don't know how to ride a bicycle. So he would say, if you would have learned how to ride a bicycle when you were younger, it would have been a whole lot easier, because now when you're older, it's more harder for you to learn how to ride a bicycle. So starting out while you're young with your business helps you in the long run with going to do things, because it's easier because you can learn things quicker when you're a child, because you're still learning. And sometimes when you're older, it's a little not harder for you to learn, but because, let me not say anything offensive to older people, but it's just, when you start out young, you can just get everything done. And I don't think age really should stop us from anything, because you can be 14 or younger and have so many different accomplishments.
Great job, Tyra, and thank you for that. What I'll say is, first and foremost, to all of, and I'm gonna allow everybody in for a second, but first and foremost, to our allies in the place, our adults, what you do, and empowering and impacting our young people is much appreciated. For our folks in the room that's paving the way, Ms. Norma, Scott, Mr. Scott, what you all do, the resources that you provide, and mentoring and coaching young people and their families and their parents, and through the years, many folks that you've impacted, the fruits of your labor is showing through just this small sample size of young people, and both of you have probably impacted hundreds of young people. So the work that you're doing in creating opportunity is much appreciated. And for the young people, I would say, we gotta keep pushing it forward. You all are our future. Everything that we can do, will do, plan to do, we can only do that and plan to do that through you all. So I say salute to you all. Keep up the hustle. Keep the grind going. Keep your head up. That COVID-19 will not defeat us. We've seen tough times. We've seen difficult times, but it's together and our togetherness that will allow us to get through this trying and this challenging time. So everyone is unmuted at this time. So before we give our send-offs, I wanted to say, thank you to each of you for being a part of this MBK Talk, and I look forward to part 2, because it would be a grander conversation with some of our advocates and young people that couldn't be with us on tonight. Some of our entrepreneurs that couldn't be here, we definitely want to make sure we give them that opportunity to tell their stories, to share about their business, and to share about how they are making an impact. And one of the things we wanted to do with the MBK stories was, we have folks that we could reach out to and do a fine, nice production and make things pretty and nice. But I really didn't want to take that approach. I really wanted things to be organic, real, live, candid, because that's currently the reality that we live in. Things have been disrupted. Things have been thrown off. So I'm sitting outside and the cicadas are going crazy, chirping or whatever, but I really wanted to create an environment that, we're, in some of our methods, we're having to go back to what some would say, original times, in which we think back and sometimes get back to the basics, So one thing about entrepreneurship, it starts with a thought, and it starts with the purpose, and it starts with the vision, as Ms. Norma said. Teaching, she pushed that. Something I heard Scott say, he mentioned a lot about, the hustle and the grind and going forward, and these young men that are, doing things in an awesome business, in 2 states, and all over the state and globally. you know, an international business now. You know, you guys are international trendsetters. You know, it's something that started, you know, with a small touch. And, you know, our two young ladies that's here on the line, Tyra and Nia, you know, you all are doing some awesome things, impacting people, motivating people. And, you know, I just want to say kudos to you, you know, because, you know, it has to start somewhere, you know. And, you know, we're proud of you all. We're going to continue to push you all. And most importantly, we need you all to continue to, you know, hold a standard and, you know, and keep up the great work. So, you know, you all are unmuted, so you feel free to say anything from our adults, but, you know, we're super proud of you. You know, thank you for being a part of this talk. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. And, you know, I look forward to continuing some of the things that we have planned down the road. You know, we're going to be working a lot virtually, but look forward to our next steps and our next opportunities to make an impact here in our state and our nation as we know it today.
I just want to say to the adults, please support them. When you see that they're having something, please support them. And I say to the young people, just keep your dreams alive and look and put knowledge.
I would say pretty much to the parents, if your child has that passion, do like the other parent said earlier, you know, she's a mom manager, so momager. So she's pretty much like supporting, not just saying, well, the only thing you need to do is get your schoolwork and that's it. And that's this. Don't worry about that. She's bought into it. And when you have people that buy into it, it makes it easier. But try to find other peers, your peers that are doing this. If you're not an entrepreneur yet, find other young entrepreneurs, reach out to Tyra, reach out to some of the other young people on here with Rika's, then reach out to them because from a biblical standpoint, I understand that iron sharpens iron, but I used to always tell Antoine that a shattered glass. So fragile people who don't understand entrepreneurship might not be able to motivate you. You have to talk to other people who've gone through the struggle as well, and they're gonna give you good sound advice. You're gonna make new mistakes, your own mistakes, but at least you won't make the mistakes that they made. If you take it, digest it, then regurgitate it, it's gonna come out and it's gonna be something awesome for you. So Antoine, thank you for the call, man.
Mr. Antoine, you're muted.
You're muted. Come on now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, man, I'm sorry. That's on me. That's on me. That's on me. You know, I'm over here. I'm closing it out, and I'm constantly talking here, and nobody hear what I'm saying.
We looking like.
But you know, I just wanted to say, you know, thank y'all so much for this conversation, and which is so needed. And again, you know, like I say, you know, my number one priority is to make sure that you all's voices are heard, and that you all know that you have advocates in us, and that we are creating those opportunities with the platforms that we have to support you all. So, you know, salute and peace to all of you. I hope everyone has a good night, and most importantly, keep doing what you're doing, and I look forward to us reconvening and us moving forward and supporting entrepreneurs abroad, but most importantly, supporting our youth entrepreneurs. Thank you.